Okay,
That's
here we go.
development.
Okay, internet, are you with us? I think they are. I think we have the internet.
You're willing it so hard.
I'm willing this so hard.
It's live up
It's
there.
not showing it.
It is going to show it. It's going to show it. We are going to be on the internet. I just got a notification that we are live
It's
on the internet.
We're
We're live!
Oh my god!
Wow.
What's happening?
So much stress.
It's going to be so worth it, you
Holy
guys.
moly.
You have no idea what you're
Oh.
in for.
We did it. We fought
Thank you.
the internet demons and won.
Thank you for sticking around.
Goodness gracious.
Well,
Internet. Hey,
Here.
if it tried to keep us down and
oh my
can't
goodness.
stop the ghost Liotta. Welcome
We're back up.
to our album release, live stream, listening party. We have thousands and thousands of dollars of speakers that were almost about to be wasted. We spent all day setting these up. And
What do you mean wasted? We're gonna use the shit out of them.
oh yeah, we're gonna use them. They wouldn't have been wasted.
Not wasted.
Chris, do you want to say something? I mean, we don't. This isn't
No,
like
it's
just
it's
a.
my favorite hi-fi setup in the world. BMW.
We're very excited now.
800
So happy this
degrees.
is working.
Class A amps and preamplifier. It's time to rock. We're feeling good now.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that we finally got this.
I am too.
Yeah, and the people. Yep, people
Oh,
can
we've
people
got
can see
people.
us. Everybody can see us.
Awesome.
Okay, great. What a relief. Well,
Wow.
shall we just listen to the music?
Yeah. So
And,
listen, we're gonna play the record, and we're gonna listen to the record. And you don't have to watch us listen to the record, but if you want to, we're just gonna be having a drink and hanging out
We
and
will
listening on incredible speakers and
And that's what
that's
it
that.
is.
We'll
Partying.
respond to comments.
we'll
as,
respond to ask us questions, say mean stuff.
And then when we're completely done with the album, then we're just gonna hang and have a drink and just
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
And then the album's out tomorrow on all the digital platforms that
Yes.
you could imagine. And,
Yep.
I feel like it's good this happened, you guys.
Me too.
This feels like we
Alright.
earned
We
something.
bonded.
Agreed.
It feels like,
we overcame adversity.
yeah. I feel like a big weight has been lifted. C-Ray was getting a little angry.
No.
Guys,
All was lost.
Never.
But now
All my
now
worst fears were coming
there's a
true
lot of
at the
yelling
time.
going on. He threatened some things. I don't want to talk about it. We'll deal with it while we're listening to the record.
all right.
Thank you for hanging out.
We're gonna mute the microphone and play the record.
Yes, we are. Let's figure out how to do that now.
I believe.
Here we Well, there you have it, folks.
Let's
Hey, we just listened to the record with everyone there. Oh yeah, we can go back to the other thing.
How do we get me like some? Oh, I'll just put my.
Some background
Yeah,
jams.
can we do background jams on this thing or no? Like, can we do?
Yeah, I can mix it up. I watch this. What do you want? I mean, are we like gonna break some kind of code license?
No. Let me see if I can get it going.
We've already been testing. Here, I can give you this thing. Thanks for sticking around, everyone. That was fun. We
Thanks for your patience.
Yeah.
To the tech.
The internet
Maybe.
tried to stop us.
Yeah, see if you can do it on your
And-
end.
What do you want, homie?
I think, why don't you just do it there through
Yeah.
the speakers and just turn it down?
I think that's the way to go.
Off the phone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Some background, some ambience while we hang out for a couple of minutes more.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Gonna do a little background music.
Thanks for
Set
tuning
the
in.
set the tone.
YouTube. Keep saying. Oh, I've got maybe since we're all streaming. Keep saying 4.
A lot of people have a lot of really nice things, a lot of nice things to say. Could listen to another 10 tracks. Thank you. We're gonna be working on some new music. I should say, there. Do you see? Look at this. This is
Yeah, we're trying to play some background tunes for you all, but
technology.
yeah,
It's really great.
thanks for all the kind words.
Yeah.
A lot of nice support that everybody's given us so far.
Yeah. Chris is trying to get music playing, and that may have been abandoned.
No, I got it.
Nope, not abandoned. This gear is
Not that it
super
really
simple to
matters, we're
use.
just getting some, like,
It
vibes.
does matter. Set the tone.
Okay, my fault.
We are the hosts of the party. We gotta make it cool.
Okay.
You want a lame party with no music, it'll get more awkward than it already is, bro. Oh, see that? It's like a... Whoops.
Is that
Done.
better?
What have I opened here? Oh, God. There we go. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks
for
everybody.
that.
Thanks for tuning in. Anybody have any pressing questions about, anything?
As of tomorrow, the record will be available,
Spotify,
all the places,
Apple
Spotify,
Music,
Apple
iTunes,
iTunes,
Tidal, you name it.
MySpace Music. That's
Oh,
where I
yeah.
listen to everything, is MySpace.
Sick.
Yeah, super fun to make this and kind of get it out there in a virtual way. Wish we could be partying in person with all of you.
It would have been a lot more fun to do this with other people in the room, because
Yeah.
the speakers sound incredible. And
They do
Can we
sound.
say how much we miss James?
Oh
Yeah,
we're
I-
missing probably the most important member
Yeah.
of the band.
James McAllister,
James McAllister.
the fourth Beatle.
He's the best looking of us. He's the smartest.
The
He's personal
He's the
friends with
coolest.
Taylor Swift.
He knows Taylor Swift.
Um,
Not to start any rumors, but that's where he is right now. He is at Taylor Swift's
house, her compound.
Yeah, don't want to
Yeah.
start any weird rumors.
But don't tell
that's
anybody.
exactly where he is.
Don't tell anybody.
Come join us, bro.
All right. First things first. Let's talk a little gear. Let's have a little gear talk.
Gear
Are we
talk.
still? Is it still working?
Yeah,
It's
so-
still working. Oh, we're rocking. Yeah, we should talk about the gear. Gear talk, like what's behind us, or gear talk, like
Both. Like, well, what we used on the album and
right.
We used a lot of gear on the album.
Yeah.
kind of, but not like. I feel like our
Not actually
instrumentation
crazy.
was pretty chill. Like
It wasn't that crazy.
Zach's old studio and this one too has everything you could ever want, but we kind of limited ourselves to like a little station.
It wasn't that much of
What was on your station? What was like at your station?
the mainstays. There was the nothing too crazy. We used
The Seal.
They used the Seal Orchestra 2
Or OR 400.
OR 400. We used some CS60 in there, I think.
Yeah.
There's some Prophet 6. There's some OP1. There's some Digital Mellotron.
You
There's
got a lot of mileage out of your Take 5 pedal.
the Counter 5,
Counter 5.
the Montreal Counter 5. There's a lot of pedal manipulation. There's a lot of electroharmonic 16-second delay. There's some pocket piano. There's some Moog Sub 37.
All right, so maybe
Boss Metal
maybe
Zone.
we used a little more than I thought.
There's some gear.
That's
That's just
actually
you.
about it. Maybe there's some Rhodes on a song. Or two,
And
piano.
we did use on both the tracking and mixing side of it a bunch of Jeff Turzo overstayer stuff,
Yes.
which was
That's
kind
That's
of
kinda
like
like
a huge part of
big
the
It's
sound.
part
sort
of
of
the
the
sound.
MVP. Like
it's
people
kind of
ask
like
me,
that all that like pumping and crazy
sort of,
stuff that sounds broken is pretty much that's responsible for it.
yeah. I feel like that people ask me a lot about that the modular channel,
Yeah.
which we both have and we recorded. It was on the room mics of the drums, and then also you.
It was
use
on the whole
master
damn mix,
bus.
yeah.
So if you want to, it's like that's what that box sounds like
Yeah.
pushed to its extreme. It's kind of crazy
Yeah.
sounding.
Yeah.
Bill Mims, who worked with me at my old studio a lot, recorded everything and did a fabulous job, kind of keeping up with all of our running around the room,
Yeah.
constantly changing stuff and figuring out how to get clock signals sent like 50 feet around the room to all the different analog stuff. And
Yeah, because go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I remember that on it's not when we sleep. Back to Dust, the second to last track. We got a lot of those pumping sounds.
My heads
By,
are getting
do you
sharp.
remember you put a speaker, a monitor, in the room and sat it on the drum throne, and we pumped the mix or the track back
That's
through
right.
that speaker
I
so
forgot
that like
about
we could
that.
get it to interact with the reverb.
I forgot with the room the room
the room,
sound.
yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. That was
Trying to get our heads in. I think I got our heads. Yeah, who mastered the record?
Oh, Dave Cooley at Elysian Mastering mastered the
Cooley.
record.
Dave Cooley mastered
He
the
always
record.
kills it.
He's fantastic, and he put up with us being fussy about, you know.
He did a couple versions for us.
He did some revisions. He was patient with us, but yeah, he always does a fantastic job. He's done a lot of records.
I feel like I made. This is a little off topic, but on Instagram I posted like a thing about this release, and then I put like thank yous on it. But I think because the top part said like album release, people thought they were getting spammed by me, and I want everybody to know, if you're tuning in and you got like tagged, it's because there's a personal thank you on that post.
That's
It's
funny.
not just me trying to get you to
Yeah.
watch the live stream.
Not
But I
sure
mean,
I'd
a
buy
lot
that
of
for a
people I
second.
feel like helped out from the sidelines. I know for me, like Dan Wilson was one of the first people to hear it,
I love Dan. Yeah.
and he gave me like a lot of great feedback. A lot of people like that. T Minus gave me really good feedback. Josh Valle gave me really good feedback. I mean,
Brad Pitt was essential. He listened to the record and gave us notes, and
Yeah.
we took every note to heart. And
James, what did Tay think of the record?
what's Taylor Swift think about the record, bro? See, he's busy.
we have to wait 45 seconds. And then
Oh yeah, sanitize. We realized earlier we were testing this whole thing out, and when we say something, it takes a little time to get to you. So we're realizing that there's a bit of a delay.
If you've never streamed on YouTube Live, so we tested it, streaming from one room and then watching from the other room, and it was like the scene in Lost Highway where the guy is watching himself on television.
Yeah.
Because the delay is so, it's like
Gnarly.
45 seconds, so you can be on camera here, walk out of the room, watch it on TV in the other room, and see yourself on camera here. It's very, very strange. You really you feel, it feels kind of haunted.
It's future stuff.
Um,
Yeah.
what else? No?
What else? Well, I think we've said it. I don't want this to seem like some kind of ad or something,
Yeah,
but like
it's not.
we-
It's
it's-
passion.
it's passion, because we got to sit here for the last hour and listen through the fanciest speakers I've ever listened to music on, for sure. And I do this
they're
for
crazy
a freaking living. I wish I got to listen to speakers like this every day, but I don't really know all of the like technical side of it, but it's Bowers and Wilkins and Class A amps.
Yeah.
If for those of you that do know that stuff, and it's a pretty
Yeah.
insane experience.
Yeah. Definitely.
We were listening loud.
It's fun because like we got to have conversations about specific parts in the
Yeah.
music that I don't know, like that you don't hear on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely makes you conscious of the decisions that you made.
Oh yeah, very aware of
Especially-
every little nuance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I kind of wish we would have maybe listened before, before we mastered.
It would be.
Just kidding. You
great.
did a great
Shut
job.
up,
You
man!
did a great job.
Yeah.
Shut up.
It would. I think you can kind of see the path of why people that tend to gravitate towards systems like this, like, tend to work on like very hi-fi, clean records.
Well, I mean, dude,
Right.
like,
Because you really hear, like, you hear the distortion so
Yes.
clearly, and you're like, whoa, that's really distorted, or that sound is really aggressive and really crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever perceived it as that listening, even on good studio monitors.
Yeah.
And
I will say though, it's like I feel like it accentuates decisions that were made in the room. It's like if we wanted to make the snare super crispy and
it's
gnarly,
gnarly sounding.
it comes off really crispy
Yeah.
and gnarly
Yeah.
on the system.
Definitely. I did. This is a little off topic too, but I feel like when you talk about like fancy, like incredible hi-fi gear, you like in that same magazine is also ads for like whiskey and cigars, and somebody was asking what scotch we're drinking,
Ah.
and it's good scotch.
Yes.
See, Chris doesn't do anything like the decent way or
No
like
half
the like
measures.
kind of good thing. It's like, what's the best thing there is? Let's get that. And this is, I don't know, it's gonna create a stir, but it's not the best. But Lagavulin,
It's my
and
favorite.
I gotta say firsthand, if you have a little bit of mezcal in your glass and you don't finish it all, and then you put Lagavulin into it, it tastes pretty good.
Did you do hobo punch?
What I'm enjoying right now is a little hobo punch, and it tastes really good. And I'm sure this is also fancy because much like C Ray, Z-Ray also does not do things
I do roll
halfway.
with the fancy booze.
Z-Ray does kill it.
We're in a room full of not doing things halfway. This is a room done all the way.
How annoyed do you get, for real, like this is a genuine question, when people call you to ask you to rent stuff?
Usually pretty annoying.
Does it depend on who it is? Because, I mean,
Well, I have
like you can get kind of salty if somebody hits you up and they're like, hey, can I like rent your memory mode? You're like, I'm not a rental.
yeah, I have a weird like no rental policy, but then like if you're my friend, I'll just loan it to you.
Right.
So it's like a very weird policy.
Or he'll sell it to you for $100. I've
Right.
been the recipient of a few $100 acquisitions.
Aren't you? Isn't that true?
It is true.
What did you
Yeah.
purchase for $100 from him?
For $100, I got. I don't want it to sound like you're just giving. But it was 4 stringed instruments.
It's like 4.
I'll just say that.
It was the bottom 4 of my like
It was the
20
it was the
weird
worst,
film score.
It was
the
the
worst
worst
4 of my 20.
For
like, film
$100, you
score.
can buy 4 of the worst of whatever he has. Maybe that's not true,
Some
but
days.
it was true that day.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
definitely not true with Mike's. Because
No.
his worst 4 mics
We just
are
found
still-
out his worst 4 mics are better
insane.
than my top 4 mics. So, how about
I
that?
don't know about that.
But yeah, this was kind of, and then yeah, the amps that go with the speakers. That's like a whole other thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole other universe
whole-
that
and
I
then
don't.
We never pushed more than 3 watts, and it was rattling.
It was pumping
Yeah.
so loud. You wouldn't want to listen to music louder
Yeah.
than that.
No,
I wouldn't. It's
no,
It's quite something.
it's crazy. And then yeah, is that enough? Have we punished everyone enough? with gear talk?
can you borrow those speakers? Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
absolutely, free.
yeah.
Come on over. Are there any questions? Should I look? I'm gonna look. Scotch brand. We got to that. An acoustic kit.
Oh, James is asking. Drums are mostly for Mona, DR1, and acoustic kit. Heavily manipulated. I think that most of the drums are that WFL kit with the goat. Everything's goat headed.
We prefer goat. Heads.
I think James can probably correct,
Sound right?
but
James.
Did you guys have like the stickers growing up that you would like step on? Did y'all call those goat heads?
No,
Is that an Oklahoma thing?
it's an Oklahoma thing.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like they have like 2 pokey things on them.
Favorite tracks? I don't know. Everyone
I,
cares.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Somebody's asking what our favorite tracks are. Did any of the tracks surprise you when they were finished? I mean,
Kind of all of
Every
them.
they
one
all
of them.
surprised us. Yeah, because it was all kind of like none of them were recorded as like specific songs like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus out.
Yeah.
They were all just these guys doing what they do, um, and just kind of playing, and then we figured it out after the fact, which is kind of like a backwards way to do it, but it in this case was sort of the way that this whole thing came to be.
I feel like we went so long before hearing them back after
Yeah.
we made them. Like,
A
what was
year-
it? Like
a year and a half,
Yeah,
maybe?
2
Yeah,
years.
no one had any memories of like.
Of any of them.
I remember really enjoying what I
Yeah.
did 5 minutes in on that one.
Yeah.
Which made your
My
job way
my solo
easier.
on this one was really shredding.
Make sure you
so-
don't leave out
Yeah.
the thing that I did that I
Yeah.
loved. There really wasn't any of that. It was just kind of
Is it kind of weird,
discovery.
like mixing and kind of producing / arranging an album whenever we aren't going to remember anything that we did. So, like, basically, what you're presenting to us, we're not really going to push back against.
It's easy when somebody drops off a hard drive to me and says, "I don't know what this is. I don't know what it should be, but like, can you listen to it and see?" And that's the dream. I mean, as like a person who likes to just stay up late, drinking whiskey, listening to odd music, it was kind of like a dream come true. That like you just sort of sift through all the craziness and sort of find stuff. But I mean, I think there's been a couple times I've said like, "Oh, I just sat in the studio and I like pieced it all together." But you guys had like concepts of like what a song, like song one, what that was, but it was like 20 minutes long.
Right.
And so then it was just taking a 20-minute song and figuring out how to make it a 4-minute
song.
thing that like gets the point across
Yeah,
and
but
feels like a journey and does the whole thing. So that it wasn't like 80 unadulterated minutes of music that I just looked at and whittled away at. It was long passages of music that turned into songs.
But there wasn't a constraint to make 3-minute songs. I mean,
No.
I remember
I mean,
when you sent me track 2 back, it was 7.5. I think it's 7.5, 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I listened down, and you were like, I don't know what else to cut. Like this is
it's too
just,
good, man.
It's just 8 minutes.
Yeah. How did you guys come up with the track order?
I don't.
Well,
I don't know.
once we sort of had the forms of everything together, I think I remember thinking about sort of putting it together into like an album, like a sort of approximately 45 minutes length, like thinking about what would work well as digital medium, what would work well as like two sides of a vinyl, what works well for sort of the average modern attention span, which is not the greatest, to be frank. And I think once we sort of, I remember sort of thinking about that, but we settled on an order. I don't remember who picked it, but it just kind of it happened pretty naturally, and then I don't think we really changed it. We just sort of somebody was like,
I think you actually kind of proposed a side A, side
side
B
B,
scenario,
and then
it really
and
felt
it just
good.
kind of stuck. Yeah, that seems like something I would have done.
And I feel like it's kind of one of those things that, like, to a benefit, we don't. It's a good thing to like think about, and then you send it on, because there's always that voice in the back of your head that who listens down cover to cover to a record anymore. So it helps you release some of the, stress of worrying about it too much and just kind of letting it, evolve and kind of find its place, which it
I'm
did.
really ready for the next one, because I feel like we've all kind of grown a lot and moved in different directions gear-wise. Like, there's specific stuff I'm doing right now that I was not doing when we made the album, and I'm like really excited to like get back in and do that.
Me too, and also just that the sort of thing of the identity of the project, the space of the project, kind of only arrived in the final phase of making it,
Right.
like the mixing phase of making it, and now we sort of can go in and think about things in those different ways, which we might have to. That might not necessarily be a good thing, but I think in general, kind of knowing what we're doing.
You know what's
would be
crazy
good.
is this is our first, like, we just released this album today. It's the first thing that we've, like, really released. And our first gig we played, like, 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's
We played
six.
we played a little-
6. I think it was about 6 years
6 years
ago.
ago?
Yeah, it was 6 years ago.
A weird trio gig on a hotel rooftop.
Yeah.
Or an apartment complex.
Yeah, it was like an
rooftop.
apartment complex. Me, you, and James, like an improv gig, the three of us. And then I think kind of right after that, I got sucked into Death Cab
Yeah.
for like 2 years,
Yeah.
basically, of touring. And then we didn't really kind of think about it again until early 2017. Like
Yeah.
almost 2.5 years on from that. And then we're like, we should get back together and make some music. And I think the first thing that we did was a bit like almost like jazzier and
Yeah,
kind of
it
a bit
wasn't
more
quite
like,
as, I feel like, dark.
it wasn't as dark, it wasn't as electronic, it was a bit more like you weren't doing nearly as much stuff with synths, you were more
Yes.
guitar, pedal steel,
Yeah.
bass.
Yeah, I think that was all I was doing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I mean, I'm really happy with the directions it went into.
Will it go to vinyl? Maybe.
Oh, for
We're
sure.
talking about that right
for
now.
Sure.
We'd
Going
like
to vinyl.
I think
It's for sure going to vinyl.
I think that right now, the nature of the world, I don't think there's a reason to produce a physical product right now because we don't necessarily have a way to get it to you. But I think we thought about it, sequencing the record. It's clearly sort of divided and it's mastered sort of into two sides. I think we'll definitely do it at some point.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about would we create tracks over a live stream? I think we're planning.
yeah, we're going to.
We're doing.
That's
James,
happening.
James is out of town right now. We were going to do it kind of in coincidence with this, but James is physically out of town. Sick.
This rules. I love it. That song
How
came
hard
out.
does that go?
Yeah, it's pretty good. So we wanted to do it all at the same time, but James is out of town right now with his family. So in a few weeks when he's back, we're going to reconvene and do like a kind of some new music, specifically to take advantage of having these crazy sounding speakers.
Yeah, like pretty much we're gonna. I want to spend more than one day. We haven't talked about
Yeah,
this
we'll
yet, but
figure
I
it
want
out.
to do like a multiple day thing.
Yeah,
But
but I
we're
think
gonna-
we'll figure out how to do some like a live stream, maybe kind of like album release gig, or I don't know. We'll actually play anything from the record. We might just play new music.
No,
but-
I envision it like we're gonna be making new music and we'll live stream like the making of.
Yeah, we'll do. There'll be some version of that. So sort of, watch this space.
Yep.
Yep. Who are some of your favorite bands or musicians that have inspired you in your careers? The album sounds amazing. Thank you.
Oh my God, that's a great, terrible question.
Terrible because it's so hard to answer.
Terrible because it's impossible to answer. Everyone is the answer. As related to this music, I actually tried to go into this weirdly, because I can say this because I wasn't in the room when the music was made. I tried to go into this letting the music inspire what I did with it and not try to pull from too much else, sonically or emotionally or just whatever you might for a pop record or something. It was just sort of listening to it and seeing what I could get away with was kind of my inspiration. But I don't know, big fan of what Trent and Atticus are doing over in their universe, just kind of landscape wise and sort of their universe of reaching into film and records and that whole thing. I'd say that's probably one of my biggest influences of stuff that I listen to that I'm deeply, deeply jealous of. That's probably one of my biggest ones.
I would say Rival Consoles. I love all of his stuff. James Blake. Lots of Travis Scott.
We're listening on the James Blake Memorial XLR to 8th inch cable
Yes, yeah.
right now.
I would also say like there's a song. If I could track like I don't know if I want to call it my favorite song, but one of the most influential songs was a song I'm sad to say I was turned on to later in life, but whenever I was on tour with Butch Walker, he was always playing this 10cc song that I became obsessed with, and it's I'm Not in Love. Do you know that track?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck man, it
Legend.
is so amazing. I want to say it's my favorite song, but I don't want to say that because I have so many. But man, I love that song. The new King Cruel album is sick. I'm listening to that a lot.
Dig the Cruel.
Yeah, I don't know what else. That's just like what comes to mind right now.
I think, yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Schoolboy Q for me, and Vince Staples always my favorite rappers.
Yeah. Let me think. With regard to this music, yeah, the Trent Atticus stuff, soundtrack stuff, like the Ghosts records and like the Watchmen soundtrack, super great. Their associate, Alessandro Cortini, who also really, in terms of like somebody that makes really beautiful emotional music purely from synthesizers, really incredible.
From one sometimes.
Usually just one synthesizer at a time. Like
his
very,
amazing.
very inspiring. Aphex Twin, huge one.
Yeah, good call. You're all of the ones
saying
you're saying.
all the right ones.
Boards of Canada is huge for me. I think that's sort of their way that they sort of combine them. I think the melodies and the sort of their harmonic vocabulary and their melodic vocabulary is super influential.
An inspiration for the album that, like our album, James turned me on to Beak.
Oh, Beak,
and
so
that
good.
Beak stuff, like really, like when I heard that, I was like, I want Ghost Liotta to be kind of like this.
Those Beak records are super good. Yeah. Portishead Third. Always.
Saying all the right stuff.
Always and forever. Just want to make one record in my life that's that good.
Where did the name come from?
I was on a gig. I think I was at a rehearsal actually, and I was sitting on a couch during a break, and there were two conversations happening at once, and one person, I guess, was telling a story about a ghost and said the word ghost, and the other person in another conversation must have been talking about Ray Liotta, because I don't know how else that word gets used, and my ears like heard those two words at once, and I thought, oh, that's totally the name of this band.
Hi Molly. We all met. I don't know. We just met.
Well, I've known you longer than I've known.
Chris and I have known each other from
12 years.
Yeah, for a long time.
Before I moved to LA, I was still in
from the early session days in LA.
I met James through my friend Shara Worden from My Brightest Diamond, or who is My Brightest Diamond. And I met James the first time out in New York. He was playing with Sufjan, and we were opening. I was playing with Shara, opening. That's the first time I met James. And then a few months after that, I think James moved to LA and called me up, and we hung out a few times. And then James introduced me to you.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 months after that.
Yeah.
And then I really just met you coming in mixing this, although we know tons of the same people.
We do know tons of the people.
That's
One time
right.
I saw him at Jackson Brown's house. Just gonna drop that name. That was one time I saw you, but I was a little nervous to talk to you because I knew you were cool.
Really? That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
At my friend Tal's birthday
At
party.
the birthday party.
Yeah.
My phone's ringing.
Yeah.
Not pro! Not professional. Hey, I can tell you a telephone ring sounds great through Bowers and Wilkins. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's funny you were at the party. That was a fun party.
It was a fun party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ended with. Were you there when Sasha took all her clothes off and got in the pool?
I feel like I would have remembered that, and I don't remember that. So I left too early is what happened.
Yeah.
I was there for that epic jam session, and then
Jam session was pretty sweet.
yeah, and then
Yeah, it was like an hour or two later, and I think in Sasha's mind, it's just. I think when she goes to like musicians' houses and there's a swimming pool, it's just like it's 1968,
duh.
and it's just like, cool. I'm just gonna like swim naked in the. I'm just gonna swim naked in the pool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I gotta talk to my wife about that. Well, did we do it?
Did we do it? Did we answer your questions?
Did we do the album release live stream?
I think we did.
Hang.
We've been here for a while.
I feel like it's time to release all of you.
Are we gonna keep hanging, or are we bailing?
We're hanging all night. Well, we gotta pack up the speakers. We do have to
I
pack up.
say instead of like paying attention to questions, we just chill for the next 15.
You want to leave it open?
Yeah, we can leave it open. We can shut it down too. I don't care. You want
We're-
to shut it down? All right, let's shut it down.
We're gonna
I think
shut
it's
it down.
time to sign off.
You gotta know when it's time to leave the party.
You're gonna know when to
Know
hold
when to
them.
fold 'em.
You know what we always used to do, and maybe we could do it here, but when it was time for the party to be over, when I lived in a party house, we would just play Alan Holdsworth, IOU, and I swear to God, in like 15 minutes, the place was empty. It worked like a charm every single time. Just play Alan Holdsworth, and people bail. So we might play some Alan Holdsworth to get you out of our hair.
Thank y'all though.
Thank you
much.
so
Thanks for
much.
listening.
For real, like for all the support, just for
Very-
like tuning in and just for being
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you.
Album. You know, listen to the album tomorrow on your favorite platforms.
Yeah, please send it around.
Listen on something that sounds good.
Yup.
We did.
Yup.
All right.
We'll be back. We'll be back sometime soon.
Yes, more to
Yeah.
come.
Watch the skies for some new music, live stream something in a few weeks. When
Indeed.
James is back in town.
All right.
Bye,
Ta-ta, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.